Hey you guys, it's Sarah here and welcome to my channel. In this video, I wanted to share with you guys a Christmas book that I have been working on and making multiple copies of. I'm going to show you guys how I make each of the pages. So I'll show you the whole book in this particular video that I'm doing right now. I'm only going to show you how I put together the first two pages. In the first two pages, it's got this really cute little Santa and a sleigh. It's got a clasp where you hook it up to the reindeer, and then it's got a Santa's sack with some stockings and presents in to lay by the fireplace. Santa can also slide through the fireplace. Let's see if I can do it one-handed here. Santa can slide through that fireplace, so it's really cute. And then his little sack holds different presents and stockings for him to lay out by the fire. This is what I'll be showing you how I put together in this video that you're about to watch. And then in upcoming videos, I have a couple other pages here. I have a Christmas tree page with buttons where little kids can push it around and match the buttons to, it's hard to do it when it's vertical, but when you lay it flat, they push it around and they match the buttons to the corresponding spot on the tree so that they decorate the tree. And then I've got a little penguin with a zipper belly. When you open his belly, there is a little fish inside. Sorry, it's hard to show it one-handed, but that's what it looks like. There's a little fish inside. So kids can open the zipper and feed the penguin a fish. So that is kind of Christmas book number 1 that I'm doing. I actually am working on a second one as well. It's just the 4 pages, and that's how I decided to sell my book. I'll probably save some for this year and some for next year because I feel like I don't have a lot of markets this year, and I do have these in stores, so I might put them in some of my stores. But feel free to put your book together however you like, whether you want to do individual pages or a pre-assembled book. This is how I decided to do it. And today we're just going to do this one, but stay tuned for how I put together the other 2 pages as well. I will share a free printable PDF file of this template where you can just print and cut out the pieces by hand if you're wanting to make this for your little one. And then as always, the SVG and JPEG will be available on my Patreon. I'll show you at the end of this video what the bulk template looks like on my Patreon in case you're interested. I'll show you what it looks like and how I cut them out to make multiple sets at once. And if you are only wanting to make one copy, but you want to have the SVG or JPEG file, you can still go to my Patreon. You just have to delete the extra copies. With Patreon as well, I've noticed recently that there is an option to just buy the single template. So if you don't want to do like a subscription based thing, you can just buy a single template. However, if there is more than one template that you're interested in, you might as well just subscribe, even if just for 1 month, and then cancel your subscription. It would be cheaper that way, and then you get access to all the templates that I've posted instead of just a single template. But it's totally up to you. The option is there anyways if that's something that you might be interested in. Okay, thanks so much you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Starting out with an 8" by 8" sheet of felt, and I'm going to go with a dark blue for this one just to make the kind of night sky dark, as if Santa's going through the sky in the dark. I'm going to start by sewing down this moon here, this circle in the corner, and then I also have this ribbon. You could use a piece of felt if you don't have ribbon, and this little clip. I'm just going to lay my sleigh down here for just a minute, just so that I can see where about I want to sew down my ribbon. I think I'm going to sew it down here. I'm going to need it to reach the collar of the reindeer, so I'm going to sew it down directly onto the page just at the end here in a little square. Next, I'm going to sew down my sleigh, but I'm going to leave the top part open so that it can fit a Santa Claus inside. So I'll just sew around the border, and I'll sew down the kind of fancy bottom part of it here as well. And I'm also going to sew down the border of my reindeer, and just freehand using some scrap felt, I cut out this little strip of red felt. I'm also going to sew that, I'll just put it on the reindeer's neck and also that in place as well, so that I have something for this clip to grasp onto. Okay, I've got the reindeer and the sleigh sewn on, and that pocket is open. Next, I'm going to go ahead and assemble my Santa. I like using hot glue instead of sewing these 2 red layers together, just because the hot glue adds a lot of stiffness and structure. So I'm going to start out just by hot gluing 2 copies of the red Santa together. You can sew them together if you prefer to do that. I prefer the hot glue. Okay, and then I'm going to hot glue on the details of the Santa. So I'm going to be hot gluing on the face, There's this white strip to go over top of that face and a beard to be hot glued right below it. This little white strip is going to go down at the bottom just above his feet. There's a white circle for his hat. And then I have two little white circles for the eyes and two black circles for the eyes. These are just the same eyes that I always use in lots of my templates. I use them recently in some videos for dinosaur, for pony, for finger puppets. I use them in all sorts of activities. And here's just another one where they work really great. So I'm going to hot glue all of those details onto the Santa. Last but not least for Santa, I'm just going to use some paint markers and I'm going to draw on some rosy cheeks at the side using pink, and I'll use my fine point black paint marker to draw on some glasses. As part of this template, we also have some white stars, so I'm just going to hot glue those on the page, as well as this red nose. I'm going to hot glue that onto Rudolph, the reindeer, and I'll use my black, again, that same black fine point paint marker to draw on the eye of Rudolph. So that completes this page itself. Everything stays attached except for Santa himself, but he can go in the sleigh. Kids can practice unhooking and hooking the reindeer strap up for their fine motor skills. And I don't have this yet at the time that I'm actually putting this together, but I know at the dollar store they sell these little like drawstring little sachets, and I want to buy some to go with this page, and maybe even include some felt, like make some square felt presents. Let's put this one together. This page again, I'm also just going ahead and using a dark blue 8" by 8" sheet of felt. And the first thing I'm going to do is sew down this black background of the fireplace. I'm going to sew it down right near the bottom of the page. Now that that's sewn down, I'm going to sew the entire border of my fireplace down in place. I'm not going to sew down at the top. I want Santa to be able to go inside there and come out right through here. So I'm not going to sew down here, and I'm not going to sew down at the top. I will sew at the sides and the bottom. So that's where I ended up stitching, just at the sides and the bottom. And then I'm going to hot glue on these 3 lighter brown pieces onto the fireplace itself, at the mantle, one at the bottom here, and then one right at the top. Okay, it is now the next day, and I had a chance to go to my local dollar store, and I found these little tie baggies that would be perfect for a little Santa bag. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Originally, when I designed this, I was trying to keep it really simple, like minimal detachable pieces, but I felt that this fireplace needed something, and I just felt like there should be a little Santa bag with gifts in it. And I decided to go ahead and cut out, I've already hot glued them all together, a bunch of these little squares to make it look like little presents. And then I also have 2 stockings that I'm going to add to each page to the fireplace. So I'm going to go ahead, I left one set unglued, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, put those together right now. There's a green box, a red box, and a white box with a red bow, and then there's two stockings, and with each stocking I hot glued 2 red copies together. And same with all the presents. There's 2 copies of each one hot glued together with the little cross at the front there, the ribbon at the front there. So those are going to be in the Santa bag, and I'm going to add some of my I'm going to hot glue some of my self-adhesive Velcro dots onto 2 spots on the fireplace, and then onto the backs of the stockings so that they can be stuck onto the fireplace and hung from the fireplace. Okay, I've got all those pieces hot glued together, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's 2 little transparent Velcro dots there, and then some on the backs of the stockings so they can attach to the fireplace, and everything will just stay inside this little baggie. We'll put the 2 stockings and the 3 Christmas presents inside. They fit really nicely, really well, and I love the gold color as well. That was just pure luck that I found gold. So that can either stay in Santa's sleigh with him, or I will, once I have my binder rings and my binding piece installed, I might attach this loop onto the binder ring just to help keep it attached to the page. And then, yeah, Santa can go down the chimney and bring out all his stockings and the presents from the bag and lay them out by the fire. In the next page that I'm going to be doing, I am going to have a Christmas tree, but for now the presents can just sit by the fire, and then the stockings can be hung on the fireplace. So that's what the first two activity pages will look like. Stay tuned, you guys, for the upcoming pages, and as usual, all the details about what this page costs to make and what I would be selling it for once the whole book is put together. It is not complete right now, but once it's all put together, I'll include all those details on my Patreon. Okay, thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. For those of you who stuck around just to check out this template, I'll show you what it is really quickly here, and apologies in advance that I am literally just sitting here filming my computer screen. I am not a YouTuber, you guys. I'm a millennial. I don't know how technology works, and right now this is the best I can do, so thank you for bearing with me. This is what the bulk template looks like. If you go to my Patreon, this is what you will get. You'll get all these cutouts in bulk. And like I said, if you just wanted one copy, you just have to, still save them and adjust their sizes, and then you just delete the extra copies. So let me explain quickly how I put it together and how it was designed. I designed it to make sets of 8 at once. And so that means when I'm designing each of these 12-inch by 12-inch templates to be cut out on 12-inch by 12-inch sheets of felt, I'm trying to fit in sets of 8. If I can only fit in a set of 4, that's fine. That just means you have to cut it out twice to get the full set of 8. So let's start at the bottom here. These are the most simple ones. You can see this white and this green and this red one over here. Those are for the presents, and there's 16 boxes and 8 little crosses. So that will give you enough for a set of 8. So you can include one with each of the 8 pages. Again, there's a set of 8 stockings here, but actually you need 2 per page. So you'll have to do 2 cuts of that one. These bows, I was able to fit a ton, so I just cut out a bunch of them, and I'm just going to save them. I only use 8 of them, or like 1 per page, so I would only use 8 of them if I'm assembling 8 copies of the page at once. Here are the Santa faces. It doesn't look very clear, but that's in peach color, and I was able to fit 24, so I only use 8 on the first set that I'm making this, but next year when I make another set of 8, or maybe even this year, depending on how they sell, I might do another set of 8, but I'll just save those, and then when I make this Santa page again next year, whenever I do it, I'll have those pieces ready. Here's the back side of the red Santas, so there's 8 of those in there. Here are the moon and the stars. Those are sets of 4, so I'd cut out 2 copies to get a set of 8. Here's a set of 8 for all of the details of the Santa, so the white beard, the white details on the hat, and the little white piece that goes at the bottom of his legs. Over here is a set of 4 for the black fireplace, so you cut out 2 copies of those on a black 12-inch by 12-inch sheet of felt, and that will give you enough for your 8. Here is another set of 8 for the front side of the Santa as well. You might be able to see these little red dots. Those are just the reindeer nose, Rudolph's nose. So that's, again, set of 8. With this brown one, this is the fireplace as well as one reindeer. So I was only able to fit 1 of each onto a brown 12-inch by 12-inch sheet of felt. So I'd have to do that cut 8 times to get my set of 8. With this one, the dark red sleigh, I was able to fit 4, so I'm going to cut that out twice to get my set of 8. And then here are the details of the fireplace. I was only able to fit a set of 4, so I do 2 of those cuts to get all 8 for 8 copies of the fireplace page. The whole point is you get this whole picture, you get the color reference page to see what colors I use. You can change the colors, and then you just save each of these templates to your computer and adjust them to the correct size, which I indicate in the captions of the photos on my Patreon. So you just adjust it, and then you can change the pieces around as you like. You can take some stuff away, you can add some stuff. It's totally up to you. I mean, I absolutely love it when people change or add to it or change colors or whatever. Just if you want to use it exactly how it is, that's totally fine. And if you want to add to it or change it up a bit, that's fine too. And if you do that, send me some pictures, because I always love seeing what you guys make. I'm always amazed by how unique they look, even though we're sharing the same template. It's really, really neat, and it definitely makes me so happy. So if you ever want to, I'd love to see photos of them. Okay, that's it. Thanks again, you guys, and I will see you later.